It's the Redskins and the Steelers tonight here at FedEx Field. The opening kickoff coming up shortly. But first, let's head down to the field to Doc Walker for our Geico What to Watch For in the next 15 minutes. Doc?
Thank you, Kenny. It didn't surprise me that my quarterback, Joe Theismann, would put the quarterback as the #1 priority. Well, Joseph, I agree with you. And in order to do that, we got to protect him like the Hogs protected you. Jamal Brown is healthy. He had a hip injury a year ago. Chris Chester comes over from the Baltimore Ravens, a former teammate of his at Oklahoma. So you got two big guys over 315 pounds. Will Montgomery moves back to center, his natural spot. Lickensteiger and Trent Williams, the prize bull from a year ago, is bigger, stronger, and nastier than ever. It's all about protection. If you watched any of the preseason games last night, you saw quarterbacks running for their life. I don't expect that to happen to Rex Grossman. Gentlemen, let's get it on.
All right, Doc, we are ready. What to watch for. This 15 minutes brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. And a look at tonight's weather from our friends at NBC4.
Beautiful. What we 85 degrees, which is a wonderful break we've had here for the last 2 weeks or so. The humidity 40% only. That's great. Should be teeing it up. Night golf. Right, Kenny?
There you go.
And Doc was right. I think one of the things that we saw last night, we saw some young guys play pretty well in the preseason games, but the protection as the games wore on got a little bit suspect. So something the Redskins certainly want to improve on last year with all the sacks that they gave up.
The Pittsburgh Steelers have won the toss. You had a look at Graham Gano, who will get things started from the 35-yard line this season. Kickoffs have been moved up 5 yards.
And one other thing you'll note is that the kickoff team is lined up only 5 yards behind the ball. That's all you're allowed to do, which I'll get into and we'll talk about as we go, but you're going to be up to speed in about 15 yards anyway. I don't know whether the difference in 5 yards would have mattered that much, but when you're in negotiations, you do things and you give things up. And I think that's one of those points that got given up.
Kickoffs were moved back to the 30-yard line prior to the 1994 season.
And had a lot of returns.
Here we are in 2011, and Gano will get things started from the 35. And the Redskins preseason is underway as Gano sends it through the back of the end zone.
Well, we know that he can make a 65-yard field goal, and that's good to know.
Gano, of course, in a battle with Shane Graham.
Well, you think he's a little pumped up? He kicked that one through the upright.
So the Steelers will start from their own 20-yard line. A look at Ben Roethlisberger, who went to his 3rd Super Bowl last February. On first down, the handoff to Rashard Mendenhall. Looks to turn the corner, and he is wrapped up by London Fletcher after a gain of 4. Our Bud Light lineups. A look at the Steelers offense. The Pro Bowler Marquise Pouncey in the middle.
Didn't play in the Super Bowl last year. I think that hurt him quite a bit. Heath Miller, of course, always a weapon at tight end. Hines Ward, the true dancing star.
Yes. He had a productive offseason. On 2nd down and 6. Roethlisberger complete for a first down to Antonio Brown. Out at the 43-yard line. A 19-yard pass play. Defensively, Joe, you talked about Barry Cofield during our open, along with Stephen Bowen, the newcomers from NFC East rivals.
That's right. They brought him in. And, of course, Ryan Kerrigan, the #1 pick, who's starting tonight at the outside linebacker position, has a ton to learn opposite Brian Arakpo. Josh Wilson comes in to play the corner opposite D'Angelo Hall, which should make this secondary more solid.
Josh Wilson, who grew up about, 5 minutes from FedEx Field?
That's right.
Off the play fake on first down. Roethlisberger dumps it off to Mendenhall. Guess who? The tackling machine, Fletcher. his second tackle the first 3 plays.
London Fletcher just knows where everybody's going to be and gets there. But Ryan Kerrigan learning to play with his hands off the ground. He has to learn how to rush, trying to swat hands. There's so much to learn. I had an opportunity to talk to Brian Arakpo about the transition from playing with your hand on the ground and being concerned with what's in front of you versus working in space. And he said it took him an entire year. And this is good that Ryan Kerrigan's having a chance to be able to play a lot of preseason games before the regular season.
You saw Kerrigan battling with the veteran right tackle Willie Colon. Roethlisberger on 2nd and 7, airing it out. And he put a little too much on it, intended for Mike Wallace, who led the Steelers with 60 receptions in 2010.
There's just a flat miscommunication between the corner and the safety. When you've got a guy running a go route, safety starts to bail. You've got to keep going if you're that safety. Ben just overthrows this, or else it's an easy touchdown for Mike Wallace, who only had 10 last year. There was a tremendous opportunity for the Steelers.
Empty backfield, 3rd down and 7. Steelers must get to the Redskins 47 for a first down. Roethlisberger under pressure, gets rid of it, but he was in the grasp. Back at the 36-yard line.
London Fletcher again what a series this has been for London Fletcher. Here comes the pressure. Right up the middle, they try and pounce. He tries to block him. You come with the blitz outside. But that gives you an idea how strong Ben Roethlisberger is. Kevin Barnes hits him right in the thigh, and he still manages to stay up and get the ball out of his hand.
Loss of 9 on the sack by Barnes. Daniel Sepulveda, terrific kick. And it will be down at the 1-yard line. Ryan Mundy, good hustle, 62 yards on the punt and roll. Redskins will start from their own. Washington Redskins preseason football is brought to you in part by Bank of America, official bank of the Washington Redskins. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. And by Verizon, track the Redskins with NFL Mobile, Fios TV, and Fios Internet, only from Verizon. First offensive series for the Redskins. They will start from their own 1-yard line following the 62-yard punt.
And you'd have to say defensively, Jim Haslett, their defensive coordinator, has to be satisfied. Of course, London Fletcher just looked like he just left right from the Pro Bowl, came here and continued to play that kind of football. And now it's Rex Grossman's turn to lead this football team. Finished the season, as you mentioned, Kenny, the last 3 games through 7 touchdown passes. Talking to him, he said, my mind's real sharp. Got to get the body caught up with it now.
2 300-yard games over those last 3. Tim Hightower in the backfield, off the play fake. Grossman from the end zone, complete to Santana Moss for a Redskins first down out of the 17-yard line. A 16-yard pass play.
Nice little play action pass. Watch the linebackers commit and come up. Good job by the offensive line selling it. And Santana Moss escapes the press, gets inside, gets his head around, makes a nice adjustment to the ball.
Brought down by the former Redskin safety Ryan Clark. So the Redskins with some breathing room from the 17-yard line. A handoff to Tim Hightower, the former Arizona Cardinal, running hard on his first carry as a Redskin. Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Bud Light. It's the short time of a good time. Here we go.
There they are. That's the 5 that Doc was talking about. Trent Williams looks leaner, meaner. Tim Hightower starts in the backfield. Daryl Young. Mike Sellers moved basically to tight end. Daryl Young now at the fullback position. Fred Davis looks like a hybrid now between a wide receiver and a tight end, and just should have a really, really solid year. Of course, Chris Cooley not playing tonight because of injury.
On 2nd down and 4, off the play fake to Hightower. Grossman's pass is caught up at the 34-yard line by the aforementioned Fred Davis for a gain of 11.
There's the Steeler defense. Casey Hampton anchors the middle. Aaron Smith missed a lot of football last year for him. Steelers have to be delighted to have him back. Of course, the linebackers are what makes the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've been this way for years. James Harrison, Lamar Woodley, James Ferrier, of course, Troy Polamalu in the secondary. Ryan Clark, who was so close to having an interception in the Super Bowl, wound up being a completion for a touchdown to Greg Jennings.
Polamalu, the reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year. Here's Hightower. Looks to turn the corner. He does. Has a first down and more. Out to midfield as Hightower gains 16.
Kenny, one of the things that the lockout didn't allow the players to do was really get a chance to hit a lot. This is a very athletic offensive line. You see him step. Hightower does a real nice job of pressing the hole, then turn it outside, going north and south down the sidelines. But there hasn't been much hitting at all. So if you can get a body on somebody, they're not used to being pounded.
22 yards, Joe, for Hightower on his first 2 carries. First down from midfield. Here's Hightower. And Hightower has another first down to the Steelers' 39. Brent Kiesel made the tackle, gain of 11.
6 feet, 222 pounds. And once he gets turned with his shoulders going up the field, it makes a world of difference.
Ryan Clark shaken up.
Yeah, well, you got to come up. I mean, watch Tim Hightower. He gets himself ahead of steam. Watch his shoulders go. There they are. Square up the field. Now lower it. Now you become the battering ram. You deliver the blow. Don't allow the defender to deliver the blow. This is what I was talking about. They haven't done any hitting. The defensive backs haven't hit anyone. So now they're being hit.
Joe, the Redskins have run 5 plays, 4 of the 5 over 10 yards. From the 39. Grossman under pressure, swings it out to Hightower. And he is knocked out of bounds at the 33 by Ike Taylor.
Ike Taylor's the best cover guy the Pittsburgh Steelers have. That time Santana Moss just couldn't quite stay on him long enough to allow Tim to be able to turn up the field. But what you're seeing out of Hightower is something that he really had to work on. I had breakfast with him the other day, and he said, when I came into this league, I didn't really understand pass protection. I didn't understand how to catch the ball. He's become a much more complete back. Only 25 years old.
How are the Eggs?
Good. Good. I had oatmeal there.
There you go. Hightower to the sidelines, replaced by Evan Royster. And this is Royster, picks up the first down. Redskins 6th round draft pick, the all-time leading rusher at Penn State.
If it's a Mike Shanahan coach football team, there's one guarantee. They're going to run the football, and there's going to be a number of running backs that I think will be very productive. The Redskins have a lot of good football players that will play somewhere in the National Football League. Whether they'll make this football team will depend on these next 4 games. But I can tell you there's a lot of guys out there that have worked real hard in these first 2 weeks of training camp.
Keep in mind, this drive started all the way back at the 1-yard line. Now from the Steelers' 26, off the fake to Royster. Darrell Young out of the backfield. Couple of nice moves, still on his feet. And brings it down inside the 10.
Now that whole play was set up by Rex Grossman. He gets the free runner in his face. And here's the fake. Got the free runner in his face, gets the ball out of his hands very quickly. And then you see Darrell Young start to do some things. Plant the foot, get outside. Let's see, again, a lot of things that the defensive players have not had a chance to work on. Stops, starts, quick moves.
Grossman uses the Redskins' first time out. It will be 1st and goal from the 10-yard line, and Rex Grossman has started the preseason perfect. 4 for 4, 51 yards. Redskins on the move. They've already driven 89 yards. Diageo and the Redskins are reminding fans that responsibility is a team sport. Be safe, be responsible, and smart. It's what good teammates always do. Diageo, proud sponsor of the Washington Redskins.
Speaking of pride, this offense has run 8 plays, 6 have resulted in first downs, averaging over 11 yards per snap. I mean, it's been a nice blend of running and passing. The one thing that's jumped out at me in this particular drive, Kenny, is the athletic ability of the offensive line. A lot of stretch plays. Chris Chester brought over, plays in this kind of a system. He's more suited for this type of running than even when he was in Baltimore, which is a big power moving graders kind of an offense.
1st and goal from the 10-yard line. Hightower And he's gobbled up. Loss of 2.
You're running against the best run defense in football, the Pittsburgh Steelers. 62, a little over 62 yards per game last season, led the NFL. That's San Diego's #1 offense, #1 defense, but you know, everybody talks about how you win a championship. You play great run defense and you run the football. Rashard Mendenhall had 13 touchdowns last year, did a fine job, over 1,200 yards rushing for him, and then you look at that statistic as far as stopping people go.
Jabbar Gaffney in motion. 2nd and goal from the Steelers' 13-yard line. Grossman's first incomplete pass.
And it was a screen. A little bit of pressure coming inside. The thing is you'd like to set this screen up a little bit longer. Pressure gets there quicker than he wants it. He falls away. See Casey Hampton. Casey's presence just scares you. That's all. And then we talked about the ability of Brett Kiesel to get up, give him an arm to throw over, make the throw go high, and wind up with an incompletion.
Mike Tomlin in his 5th season.
This is where the presence of a Jabbar Gaffney, a bigger physical wide receiver, can help down here in the red zone.
On 3rd and goal, here's Moss. Not much, as he is met immediately by Ryan Mundy, so the Redskins will send out Shane Graham and the field goal unit.
And there's a battle going on. We talked about different areas where there's competition. There's competition in the defensive line. There's competition at the wide receiver position, but also in the kicking game. Shane Graham and Graham Gano, both of them vying to be the kicker here. Gano, of course, last year, pretty solid year.
So Graham gets the first opportunity tonight with Sav Rocca holding from the right hash. Graham's kick is no good, wide to the left.
You don't win a job missing those kind of field goals.
Redskins drive 88 yards, but come away with nothing. '11-year veteran Shane Graham, 3rd all-time in field goal accuracy in NFL history when he misses his first attempt of the preseason from 29 yards out.
Everything looked good as far as the hold goes. Of course, being a former holder, that's where I'd focus my attention. But you get it down, and it's up to the kicker to make the kick. And Shane struggled a little bit during the training camp as well. Byron Leftwich now in at quarterback.
The D.C. native. Steelers start from their own 20-yard line. Isaac Redmond out of Bowie State in the backfield. Leftwich's first pass. Nice catch made by Antonio Brown. Good second effort out to the 24.
Kenny, what you saw on that particular play was, look at how many Redskins hustled to the ball. There had to be 8 guys of the 11 on the field that were within 5 yards when he went to the ground. That's what you see out of this 3-4. You see the linebackers being able to go sideline to sideline. A lot of pursuit, a lot of hustle. That's how you get turnover. You get around the ball. It goes on the ground. It becomes yours. Little bunch formation by the Steelers up top to the right.
Leftwich hands it off to Redmond. And he works his way across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Gain of 6. And a Steelers first down.
Jarvis Jenkins, their number 2 pick. Taking on the block. And have to learn to get low. Low pads win. That's another, when you don't hit, you don't have an opportunity to be able to learn how to get down low. It's one of the things I talked to Jacob Burney about, the defensive line coach. Getting low is very important.
Jenkins, the 2nd-round pick out of Clemson. New set of downs for the Steelers. The toss to Redmond. And he's forced back. Brian Arakpo, first Redskin in on the tackle.
Which I'm assuming, Kenny, you will be the first one to say it, but not the last one through the course of the year when people broadcast the Redskin games. A lot of flow coming. Gets on inside. Good job by that defensive line. That time, Jennings makes the play. Forces it to help.
from the 31-yard line. Bunch formation to the right once again. 2nd and 10 as Leftwich hands it off. This time Redmond found a hole. And Redmond takes it out to the 41-yard line. He is close to a Steelers first down.
One of the things you're going to notice in preseason, watch the flow of the football. Watch the Redskin defense. London Fletcher gets caught up inside, can't make a play. Once you get out of position in the 3-4 and you create a lane for someone, they're going to be able to take it. And it becomes very obvious where he's going to go.
On 1st and 10 from the 42. Leftwich fires downfield. Antonio Brown, the intended receiver, D'Angelo Hall on the coverage.
We've seen 2 passes, one by Ben Roethlisberger to Mike Wallace, the other one to Antonio Brown. Both receivers have gotten on top. D'Angelo doesn't get a hand on him. Now he's in a foot race, and he's not going to win this foot race with this youngster. That ball is overthrown a bit. I was talking to Byron before the game, and he said, having just one practice, his arm feels so lively. He said, this is the best his arm has felt in a long, long time. And I think it's going to help guys as the season goes on because they keep a pitch count for quarterbacks as well. How many throws does your arm take?
1 practice in pads per day, thanks to the new collective bargaining agreement. Leftwich to Wallace. And Wallace is wrapped up, knocked out of bounds. Nice tackle that time by Hall. And now some extracurricular activity on the Steelers sideline.
D'Angelo, he loves to stir it up. He really does. I mean, he plays with an edge, and that's why he's been so good. That's why he's been to the Pro Bowl. That's why he's a special. He doesn't care how big you are. He's just going to jaw at you anyway.
I think he was letting Pouncey know about his Pro Bowl MVP trophy.
I just think he wanted to size him up and see how big he really was. You'll notice he moved to the side. Pounce didn't really adjust his walk. D'Angelo just sort of slid by him, which then is a sign of intelligence, Ken.
Very smart move by D'Angelo. Now 3rd down and 7. And the Steelers use their first timeout with just over 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Welcome back. Redskins fans, catch all the latest buzz on Twitter at redskins.com, presented by Audi. Your place to get the latest Redskins tweets all season long.
Do my share of tweeting. Enjoy it, too.
I've kept up with you.
I appreciate that. I really I enjoy the input from the fans. I enjoy the questions. Some of the comments are what you'd expect from different people, but I enjoy it a lot.
And yes, folks, it really is Joe. He doesn't have anybody doing it for him.
I do it. I sit at home sometimes. People see me. I'm in an airport sometime. I'll take half hour to try and catch up on a few, and I'll probably do some tomorrow after this game.
I'm sure you'll receive many questions regarding this game as well. 3rd down and 7. Leftwich sack back at the 32-yard line. Terrific penetration from Stephen Bowen, who spent the last 5 years as a member of the Dallas Cowboys.
What happens is, as an offensive line, you've got to identify is it big on big, little on little. There you go. You've got backs that don't know who to pick up. You've got offensive linemen that don't know who to pick up. And this will be, I think, a feature as we see through the preseason is offensive lines trying to identify how to pick up pressure. Because if you don't do it live, you can't do it live in a game.
Loss of 10 on the play. Sepulveda punting for the 2nd time. This one taken at the 14 by Banks. Banks out across the 25 to 30. And finally tackled out of bounds at the 34-yard line. 20-yard return by the 2nd-year Redskin, Brandon Banks, following the 51-yard punt. Welcome back to FedEx Field. Redskins and Steelers are scoreless. Late first quarter. Get the latest from inside Redskins Park. Stay in touch with the team when you follow the Redskins on Twitter at Redskins. Terrific starting field position for the Redskins following the 20-yard return by Banks. Our 1st and 10 line. There it is, brought to you by NetApp. Critical missions are built on NetApp. Grossman remains in at quarterback. Hightower in the backfield. Gaffney and Moss are the wideouts. Gaffney in the slot. Moss split to the right. Logan Paulson in at tight end. And the handoff to Hightower on 1st down. And Hightower gains 5 out to the 38. Kiesel on the tackle along with Devon Cromartie-Smith.
What Rex Grossman did on that particular play is he saw the Steelers safety starting to cheat up, so he signaled to a play. Most people look at a game and say, okay, the quarterback's going to signal to a pass to try and take advantage, maybe get a big play. There he just looked for the best possible run to get out of a bad play. Wound up with 5 yards. Good, smart quarterbacking.
Hightower 35 yards on 5 carries so far tonight. Second down and 5 from the 38. Grossman complete to Jabbar Gaffney for a Redskins first down. Out at midfield, William Gay made the tackle, a gain of 12.
A little chippy out there. Everybody's a little chippy. Jabbar's a little chippy. D'Angelo's a little chippy.
They've been chopping at the bit
They've been
to
waiting.
face guys in other jerseys. It's been a long time.
It has. Rex Grossman gets the ball out of his hands. Nice, quick anticipation of where Jabbar is going to be. When you watch the Redskins in training camp over these last 2 weeks, the passing game has been very, very efficient, especially under 15 yards.
Grossman, as you saw, 6 for his first 7. This time, Hightower tripped up by Kiesel. A loss of 1, and that will bring us to the end of the first quarter. Preseason game number 1. Redskins drove 88 yards on their first possession, but could not score. It held the Steelers off the board as well. Second quarter coming up from FedEx Field. We get set for the second quarter here at FedEx Field. Redskins and Steelers scoreless. Let's go down to Doc Walker once again for our Geico. What to watch for over the next 15 minutes.
Continued consistency and intensity. You don't want fatigue to start setting in. The excitement may wear down, but you got to keep going and finish the drive in the end zone.
All right, thanks, Doc. What to watch for this 15 minutes brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Redskins with second and 11 from their own 49-yard line. 3 wide receivers set. Grossman handing it off to Hightower. And he takes it down to the Steelers' 46 for a gain of 5.
To build on a little bit on what the good doctor just talked about as far as intensity and consistency goes, one of the things that the Redskins noticed that they were not very good as an offensive line last year, getting off on the snap count. They were a little slow at times, a little erratic. And that's something they focused on this offseason. And you see this unit coming off in a much more cohesive way. And it makes everything more efficient, the passing game and the running game.
And they haven't had much time to work together. Third down and 6. Grossman to the outside, complete to Moss. And he stopped about 1.5 yards shy of the marker as we check out the first quarter numbers brought to you by Bank of America, the official bank of the Washington Redskins.
You know, Mike Shanahan may wind up going for it here. Mike is this kind of a coach. Plus, it gives you an opportunity to take a look at your short yardage goal line, which you want to get on film. Remember, the preseason is used for teaching and educating and also evaluating. You take those 3 things, you may not get another 3rd and 1. So this is a good opportunity to look at what you have as far as short yardage and goal line.
Redskins need about 1.5 yards. Grossman to throw on 4th down. Anthony Armstrong, the second-year Redskin, makes the catch at the 35-yard line. Gain of 6 as the Redskins move the chains on 4th down.
You gotta love the call. Everybody's in trying to stop the run, drop Rex back, throw it outside shoulder. Nice place to put it. Keep it down low. Good timing, good ball placement. First down.
Dante Stallworth and Terrence Alston now in at wide receiver, along with Armstrong. Grossman sizzling now 8 of 9 here in the preseason opener. Off the play fake to Hightower. Grossman moves to his left, now throws, looking end zone. Dante Stallworth right up the tunnel, the intended receiver.
Dante had him open, and what happened was he also had the underneath guy open, Fred Davis, and he just wanted to go for it. I mean, he has a choice here. What Rex is doing, and this is Rex. Okay, I'm looking down the field. I want to make the big play just out of Dante's outstretched arms. Now, you know, Dante Stallworth hasn't ever really reached his potential. had a chance to visit with him quite a bit during this preseason and in training camp, and he said he just wants to be healthy enough to be able to show what he can do.
On 2nd and 10, here's Hightower. Hightower bottled up, forced back. Lamar Woodley with the penetration.
Tim Hightower really appreciates this opportunity to come back home, family out in Waldorf. You see him be patient, press the hole. Now he takes that one cut, plants that foot, squares his shoulders up the field, and then shows his ability to catch the football in space, put a little move on, almost get the first down. Showing a lot of versatility. Now the next thing is how well we pass protect.
A touchdown machine during his 3 seasons with the Arizona Cardinals. Grossman on 3rd and 11, and it's dropped by Fred Davis.
Remember, this is the first time these guys have been hitting anyone, including themselves.
That's Lawrence Timmons down. Ryan Mundy back on his feet. A concerned look on the face of Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin.
Was the fact that he did not have the ability, or you had to be curious, how did he pass protect? Did a very, very good job outside. Although the pass was incomplete, he did his job.
Davis unable to hold on the hit by Mundy. So the Redskins drive into Steelers territory for the 2nd time, but come away with nothing. Sav Rocca got the last 3 seasons in Philadelphia, punting for the first time. But Weldy Moore lets it go, and it takes a Steelers bounce into the end zone for a touchback. So Pittsburgh will start from their own 20-yard line with just over 3 minutes gone by in the 2nd quarter, still scoreless.
That cannot happen. That is a deficiency or an error by the special teams. You can't be punting that close and give the Steelers the ball on the 20-yard line. If you're going to hit the pooch, hit it higher. Give guys a chance to make a play. Anything inside the 20 is a plus. But to give them this kind of field position after you were so close is not a good thing from the special teams.
A net of only 16 yards.
Sounds like one of mine. Wish I had 16.
What was your long?
1.
On the positive side?
It was 1 against the Bears.
There's Weldy Moore out to the 22. Rocky McIntosh the tackle.
It was my one and only.
That was it?
Joe Gibbs decided I shouldn't punt again. And I could understand his viewpoint.
How about north of the border?
North of the border, actually I used to catch them because up there you have to catch them and kick them back. So I never really kept track. I was just trying to stay alive up north.
How many rouges?
That's what I did, is I caught it to keep it out. The rouge, by the way, is a single point in the Canadian Football League. We thought we'd explain to all of our fans here in the United States that don't understand Canadian football.
2nd down and 7 is Leftwich. Hands it off to Weldy Moore. And Moore is cut down by D'Angelo Hall. Nice tackle by Hall. Moore otherwise would have picked up a 1st down.
D'Angelo Hall just has a knack for being able to get people on the ground. He doesn't try and overpower anyone. Watch as Weldy comes all the way back. D'Angelo, sort of last line of defense, comes up, makes a play on the inside leg, gets him to go sideways a little bit more, allowing London Fletcher to come over and finish him off.
Hall coming off his 3rd trip to the Pro Bowl. Now 3rd down and 1. Weldy Moore is bottled up. Barry Cofield with the penetration.
We talked about the youth and experience. They're young guys up front that can make plays. This one's Barry Cofield right up the middle. Ryan Kerrigan, he comes shooting in. Gets inside the block, makes the initial hit. This is what you want. This is what he was able to do in college at Purdue and what was so impressive. Smart football player, knew what he needed to do.
Sepulveda punting for the 3rd time. Banks unable to field it on the bounce. And it will be downed inside the 20. So Sepulveda with a 62 and 51-yard punt earlier, this time 55, including the roll. But a terrific stand by the Redskins defense. Welcome back. On Saturday, October 29th, the Washington Redskins, GlaxoSmithKline, and other health and wellness partner organizations are hosting a unique health event inside the Redskins team locker room at FedEx Field to encourage military men and women to be proactive about their health. It's free, open to all members of the military and their families, but you must register. Visit www.redskins.com/playbook today to learn more. Rex Grossman and the Redskins start from their own 18-yard line. Off the play fake to Hightower. Grossman throws and the catch is made. Nice extension by Moss. Forced out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Gain of 16 and a Redskins first down.
Of course, Santana Moss had 93 catches a year ago. Watch the move inside. Plants it inside. Now work back out. Little pivot out. Slide away from where the pressure's coming from. Rex leads him outside, and Santana goes and gets it.
His fourth reception today.
Let's see the 93 last year.
From the 34 on first down, Grossman complete once again. This time it's Jabbar Gaffney, who caught a career-high 65 passes for the Broncos last year.
You can see how quick Rex gets the ball out of his hands. He plays within the concept of the offense, and that's the one thing that he really has to. Every quarterback needs to do that, is don't try and get outside the concept. Let the coaches call the plays. Let the defense dictate to you where you're going to go with the football. Those are the simple procedures that you have to follow.
Grossman now 10 of 13 for 99 yards. From the 41 on second down, this is Hightower. Hightower takes it out to the 41-yard line, setting up a third down and 3. Where's the best place to be this summer? Well, your local Ford dealer, where right now you can get big cash rebates, attractive finance plans, and great lease offers on the best-selling brand of vehicles in America. So hurry into your local Ford dealer today and drive one. Preseason game number 1 for Mike Shanahan's Washington Redskins. There were 5 games around the NFL last night. 4 others today. Redskins and Steelers scoreless. Third down and 3, and Gaffney has a first down.
If you're going to play one-on-one, man-to-man coverage, it's going to be very difficult to stop a quarterback that gets the ball out with such great rhythm and receivers that can play and turn and get their head around. Jabbar's doing a real nice job, as is Santana. Watch this. Plants, nothing on the hands, squares up, gives the quarterback a target to throw to. One of the things they talked about with the Steelers is if you spread them out, get them one-on-one, their secondary is not that good in coverage, in one-on-one coverage. Interior, they're tough. Spread them out, more difficult.
From the 48, play action. Grossman fires downfield. This is Austin. Terrence Austin inside the 20, finally forced out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
I know that people are sitting around saying, well, this isn't the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dick LeBeau, their defensive coordinator, hasn't put in all the packages. I feel like this offensive line's doing a real nice job up front, giving Rex Grossman the opportunity to have a lot of vision down the field. The play action holds the backers, forces the defensive linemen to take different routes, and then you wind up with Terrence Austin with a big play. But now you have to get it in the end zone. You were down here before. You had 3 shots, didn't get anything in. Now you have to get it in the end zone.
38 yards, Joe, from Grossman to Austin. Now a 1st and 10 from the Steelers' 14. Grossman looking end zone. Anthony Armstrong, the intended receiver. Larry Foote got a hand on it.
I know you're smiling. I knew you wanted to say that. Go ahead, say it again. Larry Foote got a hand on it.
I'll take the replay. Here it is.
Yep.
Larry Foote gets a right hand on it.
That's it right
Perfect.
there. A little bit late on the throw. Of course, one of the positions we talked about as far as trying to figure out who's going to make this football team is at the wide receiver position. And we've seen Jabbar Gaffney, Santana Moss, now Terrence Austin making plays.
On 2nd and 10, here's Hightower. Hightower inside the 10, continues to run hard. Down to the 8-yard line, he picks up 6.
You know, Kenny, if you're going to be a good red zone team, if you're going to get the ball in the end zone, you have to be able to run the football effectively. Once again, offensive line gets outside. Fred Davis doing a real nice job staying tenacious outside. He's only about 260. His weight is down, like I said. He looks like a hybrid wide receiver tight end now. Good feet, his foot speed is good. And blocking at that position is more about getting your feet in the proper position and placing your hands correctly.
Third down and 4, low snap. Grossman recovers, throws, touchdown Santana Moss.
I just heard a whole bunch of Redskin fans smile, Kenny. And that was a very efficient drive, just like we saw the first one. Steelers come inside with pressure. Rex does a nice job of picking up where he needs to go with the football after he was able to get it, and Santana gets in the end zone.
So the Redskins finally convert their third trip into Steelers territory. An 8-yard touchdown pass from Rex Grossman to Santana Moss. Here's Graham Gano for the extra point. Redskins lead 7-0. Redskins drive 82 yards on 8 plays. Terrific first half for the offensive line. Terrific first half for Rex Grossman. Santana Moss, 5 receptions during the Redskins' last drive, including their first touchdown of this preseason. Diageo and the Redskins are reminding fans that responsibility is a team sport. Be safe, be responsible, and smart. It's what good teammates always do. Diageo, proud sponsor of the Washington Redskins. Gano to kick off from the 35-yard line. Redskins lead 7-0. Weldy Moore watched it go through the end zone once again. So the Steelers will start from their own 20, trailing the Redskins by a touchdown. The Redskins Monday Special is on again with free toppings for touchdowns every Monday throughout the season. Get a Papa John's large cheese pizza for just $9.99. Get a free topping for every Redskins touchdown. Double the toppings with a Redskins victory. Papa John's, the official pizza of the Washington Redskins. Joe's already halfway through his first slice.
They made mine special for me. Double cheese and mushrooms.
Some mushrooms
real simple.
On top.
You got the basic.
We have a plain cheese pie here.
Yeah, right there. Papa John's.
Enough for our spotter, Chris Moffitt, our statistician, Marty Aronoff.
Helped John a few years ago find his first car, as a matter of fact.
So Papa John's, we're enjoying it here in the booth. Byron Leftwich remains in at quarterback for the Steelers. Fires downfield, and the catch is made for a first down by Antonio Brown out at the 49, a 29-yard reception.
This is what speed can do for you. Gets up the field in a hurry, plants the outside foot on Josh Wilson. Inside, makes the throw. Chris Horton couldn't quite get there in time, and you get the big play. Remember, the Redskins may be ahead 7-0, but the Steelers have missed 2 big opportunities down the field. The last thing you want to see is something like this. High ankle sprain or possibly something to do with his foot.
Josh Wilson, who came over from the Ravens after 3 seasons in Seattle. Grew up right here in Prince George's County. Attended DeMatha High School. Wilson injured on the tackle of Antonio Brown.
It almost looks like Chris Horton, when he came around, landed on it.
So the Redskins medical staff tending to Josh Wilson as we head downstairs. Joe to Doc Walker. Doc.
All righty.
Hey, guys, this is what you are scared for. You don't want to lose anybody. But I got to say, the young guys, Kerrigan in particular, this guy's played well. Now, he's playing out of position. As we all know, he's learning the outside linebacker spot. But the big change has been both the offense and defensive line. We've got our starters in, granted, but these guys are allowing our linebackers now to float to the ball, and it's quite impressive. Joe?
Hey, Doc, you know, and even in the second year, just knowing where you're supposed to be, I think it's very important. We see with Rex Grossman in the third year on the offensive side. Now the linebackers in their second year in the 3-4.
That's a great point.
New set of downs for the Steelers. Leftwich with time, and it's Brown once again for the Redskins' 41-yard line. Kevin Barnes made the tackle, and for the Steelers, this is their first trip into Redskins territory.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 94. Defense, The 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
That's on Adam Carricker, and with 5:10 remaining in the second quarter, that was our first penalty flag of this game.
And everybody thought that in the preseason it was going to be sloppy, it wasn't going to be as efficient. It has been anything but that. Both sides of the ball have been extremely efficient. They're playing hard, they're going hard at it. Conditioning obviously is an issue when it comes to your team. Can you get them in shape and can you keep them healthy? But it's been a heck of a football game so far.
Now, we saw Carricker make contact with the helmet of Leftwich, but one of the new rules this year, hits to the head of the quarterback are only a foul if it's a forcible blow. Glancing blows or incidental contact will not be flagged. This is Redmond. So there will be many instances this season where it'll really be up to the referee to determine whether or not it's a penalty.
And I think that makes so much sense because you have a rule, Kenny, with the kickers. You have running into the kicker and roughing the kicker. So often we saw quarterbacks just get their helmets grazed and it was an automatic 15-yard penalty. I think it's a wonderful decision by the competition committee to make a rule change where you put it in the hands of the referee and let him determine whether or not a guy has been roughed up or not.
Second down and 7 from the 22-yard line. Here's Redmond. Redmond still on his feet, inside the 10, the 5, touchdown Isaac Redmond.
Well, we talked about fits. Fits are where a defensive player is supposed to be. When you get fits, you get a hole like that, you miss a tackle, you miss an opportunity, you get into that second level and there's no one there, you wind up with a touchdown.
So Isaac Redmond out of Bowie State scores the Steelers' first touchdown of the preseason, and now a familiar face to Redskin fans, the former Redskin place kicker Sean Sweezum, out to attempt the extra point.
Besides quarterbacks in Washington, there's been quite a few kickers that have come through as well.
Yes. Sweezum's kick is good. So with 4:13 remaining in the second quarter, following a 4-play, 80-yard drive, we are tied at 7.
Out. That's the thing about the 3-4. You get flowing too far. If you're a linebacker and you get a half a body over too far, you see the offensive line of the Pittsburgh Steelers, every one of them stayed on their feet. They made contact with the defender, giving the running back an opportunity to make a play.
So the Redskins and Steelers now tied at 7. Well, if you like the Redskins on Facebook, you'll have a chance to win Redskins tickets and unique prizes all season long. Go to facebook.com/Redskins. You've talked a lot, Joe, about the 3-4 from a quarterback's perspective. When you were down in the field under center, what were the major differences for you, 4-3, 3-4?
Well, identifying the protection, and that's what quarterbacks do. You have to figure out whether you got big on big. Will an offensive lineman be responsible for a linebacker or a defensive lineman? That's the biggest determination. So when you make your calls, as you look over it, you have to assign a number, 51 or 50. Say Larry Foote, for example. 50, 50, 50. You can treat him as the middle linebacker and allow the offensive line to pick up people. That means whether you're a big guy or a linebacker, it doesn't matter. I still have you. So identification was the toughest thing, Kenny.
And that's why we always hear 50's the Mike.
All right.
Referring to the middle linebacker. Brandon Banks, 7 yards deep. Will he take it out? He does. Another deep kickoff, and Banks is across the 30. Cuts it back inside. And is taken down in Steelers territory. So he had a decision to make. Would he take it out? He did, and it paid off.
And this is the way Brandon Banks will make this football team. The wide receiver position is very deep, but he brings such value. Had one for a touchdown last year, ran 2 others back that were called back. But look at the hole it's created. Now a lot of giddy. I figured he was gone right here. Once he makes Sweezum miss, I thought it was all over. Good job by the Steelers keeping him in front of you. But once again, terrific field position because of Brandon Banks.
58 yards on the return. So the Redskins begin this drive in Steelers territory from the Pittsburgh 48. Grossman off his back foot, looking for Santana Moss. 2nd and 10 upcoming. Our 1st and 10 line brought to you by NetApp. Critical missions are built on NetApp.
At time they try to pump and go. I like the call. You get a big play. Now you want to get a quick score. You run a little pump and go. They didn't have it. Throw the ball away. You see the yards for the Redskins. 201 yards so far in the first half. Very efficient running the football and throwing the football.
Redskins have already had 2 drives of over 80 yards. 2 of their first 3. Evan Royster. Royster gains 3 down to the Steelers' 45-yard line.
Evan Royster in his career averaged 5.7 yards a carry. That's just solid. I mean, that's solid football. All-time leading rusher, Penn State history. Kenny, you mentioned that before. Not flashy, doesn't have the big speed. Roy Hellu out of Nebraska is a guy that's got really, really great speed. He's more of a pounder, going to wear you out.
Ryan Terrain, of course, out due to the broken hand. From the 45-yard line. Some miscommunication as Moss cut the other way, and the Redskins will send out the punting unit for the 2nd time.
The place you don't want pressure is up inside. Rex actually had time. I think he felt a little ghost pressure that time.
Fair catch called for by Antonio Brown. Back at the 7-yard line on the punt from Rocca with just over 3 minutes remaining. 2nd quarter. We've seen and heard a lot from Joe and Doc about the Redskins' 1st-round draft pick out of Purdue, Ryan Kerrigan. Doc talked about his changing positions, and here is what Ryan had to say about playing with his hand on the ground.
Transition. It's really seeing the field from a whole different level. And you know, when you're in a 3-point stance, you kind of have tunnel vision. You can kind of only see what's ahead of you. But when you're standing up, you can see everything. You can see all the receivers, the backfield formation. So I think that's going to be the biggest adjustment. But you know, luckily I got a guy in Brian Arakpo that I can really learn from, because he's made the same transition that I had to make.
He really is fortunate. I mean, you've got London Fletcher inside helping you out, and Brian Arakpo, again, going through that transition. I feel like he'll be used to be able to put pressure on the quarterback, just like the Redskins did in the first year with Brian Arakpo when he had double-digit sacks. What you'll do is bring him, do what he did well till he gets more comfortable with the scheme that you want to run around him.
Kerrigan, the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year last season. Leftwich fires, and a penalty marker as contact was made. Brown in the collision with Josh Wilson. Great to see Josh back out on the field.
Exactly, and he did grab him. I mean, he's pleading his case, but there was a little bit of a tug so that Antonio couldn't turn around.
Number 26, defense. The ball will be placed in the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Now watch this. A little bit of an arm pull. Yeah, it's sort of hard to get away with that one when it's just you and him out in the middle of nowhere.
Josh Wilson injured during the Steelers' last possession, so he looks to be all right.
Didn't look any worse for wear. Turned, ran. I am so impressed with the Steelers' youth and speed at the wide receiver position. This will be a different year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they'll be able to threaten down the field even more than they did a year ago.
Off the pump fake. Leftwich that time looking for Tyler Grisham. 2nd and 10 upcoming.
Jarvis Jenkins just continues to bring pressure. I mean, the big guy's got some terrific athletic ability inside. Hurry up, guys. They're going without a huddle.
As we approach the 2-minute warning, Leftwich with loads of time, and the pass is caught out at the 41-yard line for a first down by the veteran, the longtime 49er, Arnez Battle. Gain of 15 on the play.
Once again in the no huddle.
From the 42. Leftwich moving to his left. Now fires downfield. It's incomplete. So the clock stops with 2:01 remaining in the second quarter here at FedEx Field. Redskins struck first. Rex Grossman to Santana Moss for an 8-yard touchdown, and then Mike Tomlin's Steelers scoring moments ago, 22-yard touchdown run by Isaac Redmond.
And if you're the Steelers, you want to be able to convert this first down so you can run your 2-minute drill. Once again, as much as you can put on film becomes an education to the young guys and a teaching point for the guys that are running it.
Final play prior to the 2-minute warning from the 42. Leftwich just able to get rid of it, and the catch is made out at the 49-yard line. It's Battle again, his second catch of this drive, and now we hit the 2-minute warning from FedEx Field. Redskins and Steelers preseason opener deadlocked at 7. Try the new McCafe Real Fruit Smoothies at participating McDonald's today. Our McDonald's game summary. Terrific first half for Rex Grossman. 13 of 19 on a touchdown pass. Tim Hightower in his Redskins debut. 10 carries for 44 yards. And Joe, defensively, Redskins with a pair of sacks.
They've run real. Tim Hightower's shown he could do a lot of different things. Catches the ball well, blocked well, very patient, gets outside. And then defensively, they bring a lot of pressure. Getting Ben Roethlisberger on the ground, which is not an easy task. Once again, up the middle. Stephen Bowen coming in, making a play. The young guy that's jumped out defensively to me has been Jarvis Jenkins, the number 2 pick out of Clemson. He's put a lot of pressure up the middle.
Field judge Steve Zimmer over for a chat with Mike Shanahan.
I mean, these guys have got this game, basically 2 more weeks, and the roster goes down to 75. And then after the last, before the regular season, you'll get down to 53. Remember now, there's not a designated quarterback rule this year. That's another change. There's 46 guys, the 46th being the quarterback. So there are those changes in the rules that, you know, will be significant. I'm thinking that a kickoff might well be as a intentional grounding now. Just give the team the ball in the 20.
And that 46th player, Joe, does not have to be a quarterback.
Right.
If a team dresses only 2 quarterbacks, they can dress an additional player elsewhere. Leftwich on 3rd and 3, and a terrific play by Rocky McIntosh, who gets a hand on it.
Rocky McIntosh starts 15 games. Here comes Kerrigan inside, bringing pressure. Still learning how to pass rush from the 2-point stance. He's going to be a little slower getting going because obviously you don't have that fire off with the 3-point. But I think he'll eventually find himself and create the opportunity. Or Coach Haslett, the defensive coordinator, will do it for him.
Sepulveda punting from his own 40-yard line. Banks calls for the fair catch at the 15. Well, Joe, we've talked about a number of the rule changes for this 2011 season. Of course, the kickoffs moved up to the 35. As you pointed out, the kicking team can only have a 5-yard run-up.
I think all scoring plays being reviewed is an excellent point. And I don't feel like it'll make the game longer. The official has a little thing on his belt that basically says yay or nay. Give him a chance to go ahead and do it. And, of course, if you try and take extra time on a challenge, you're not going to be granted the challenge. So there's lots of subtle rules that make the game more efficient.
1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. Grossman complete for a first down to Anthony Armstrong out to the 31-yard line. Gain of 17.
My favorite part of the game, other than winning at the end, is the 2-minute drill. I love to watch a quarterback, a veteran quarterback, run it because seconds are so important. How does he use his timeouts? What does he do getting the ball out to people?
Armstrong again, gain of 9.
Redskins with 2 timeouts. Right now what you're trying to do is get yourself into a position to have an opportunity to kick a field goal. Taking a little too long here.
2nd and 1, complete for a first down to Jabbar Gaffney.
Now you call the timeout. If he got out of bounds, you could have come back, rehuddled, gets tackled in bounds, you wind up calling the timeout.
2nd timeout taken by the Redskins. 50 seconds remaining. Second quarter, there's Kyle Shanahan, very close with the Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin. They worked together in Tampa Bay on the Buccaneers staff.
And Kyle did a terrific job down in Houston. And last year, sort of got maligned last year, as the entire Redskin team did. Offensively, there were a lot of changes. A lot of people got hurt. New wide receivers, new concepts. And I talked about this offense being conceptual. Receivers have flexibility within this offense to read the defense and find places get open. And that's one of the things that Kyle's been working on real hard, is to make everybody understand their concepts. You see where they were in pass yards. NFL, they were ranked 8th. Running the football, offensive line problems, running back issues. You never really had a chance to get any consistency there.
Following the timeout, new set of downs from the 45-yard line. Grossman to Gaffney into Steelers territory. Gain of 7.
Receivers have done a real nice job tonight catching everything that's been thrown. And the only one that got away was the one that Dante Stallworth, and that was a little too long. So they've been very efficient, taking a lot of time to get this play off. Got to call 2 plays. Get them up and get them lined up.
From the Steelers 48, complete to Moss for another Redskins first down.
The Steelers are just not going to let you throw the ball out of bounds.
Redskins
use their
final timeout here with 19 seconds remaining in the first half. 5 Redskin possessions, Joe. They've been across midfield on all 5.
They've been very efficient, both running the football and throwing the football. And Doc talked about it in the beginning, Kenny. Talked about those 5 guys up front, that offensive line. There's a lot of competition. As training camp has gone on, Doc and I would stand out. And I did something very unusual this year. I walked down with Doc to watch the big boys hunt.
Wow.
And there is a lot of competition. There are guys, there's depth, which the Redskins really struggled with on the offensive line last year. And we'll see more of it in the second half.
No timeouts remaining for the Redskins. 1st and 10 from the Steelers 39. Grossman over the middle. And the catch is made by Santana Moss for a gain of 8 to the Pittsburgh 31.
Has to ground it quick.
He does with 5 seconds on the clock. Here comes Shane Graham, who missed from 29 early in the first quarter. So Graham getting one more chance with Sav Rocca to hold. It'll be a 50-yard attempt from the left hash.
It's in his range.
Now Rocca setting up at the 39, so Graham from 49 yards out. He was wide left from 29. Ball is placed down by Rocca. And Graham's kick is wide to the right this time. So Shane Graham missing both attempts in the first half. 29 and now 49. Terrific first half for Rex Grossman. Throws for 207 yards and a touchdown. 7 receptions for Santana Moss. Redskins and Steelers tied at 7 at the half of the preseason opener. Preseason opener from FedEx Field. Redskins and Steelers are tied at 7 as we get set to start the second half. Welcome back to the broadcast booth. Kenny Albert with Joe Theismann. Joe, what stood out to you from a Redskins perspective in that first half?
The efficiency of which they operated, both offensively and defensively. No sacks, no penalties, no turnovers. For the first preseason game, for a team that supposedly is just learning some things, I thought they were very, very efficient.
Well, let's take a look at first half highlights. Redskins offense got off to a good start, driving 88 yards on their opening possession.
And this is the first play, a little play action fake. Remember, they got the ball on the 1-yard line. Santana Moss with the recovery reception. Rex Grossman doing a real nice job. Sees the field, a lot of crossing routes in this offense. A lot of guys going from sideline to sideline. Then Rex does a really nice job of reading pressure, getting the ball out of his hands. And on the defensive side, some of the new guys, some of the young guys played very well. Jarvis Jenkins, pressure up inside, redirecting Redmond. And then you get Ryan Kerrigan. Again, learning how to play the outside linebacker position, but still, if you're going to send him, he understands how to get to the running back and to the quarterback. And D'Angelo Hall, it's not all about the young guys, it's about experience. D'Angelo being just a little bit chippy.
So the first half numbers, Redskins with 259 yards of offense. They controlled the ball for over 18 minutes. Rex Grossman 19 of 26, 207 yards. Let's go down to Doc Walker for our Geico What to Watch For in the next 15 minutes. Doc?
Thank you, Kenny. What you want to watch for is a lot of new players who get into the game. For most of these guys, it's the first time in their athletic careers that they haven't been starters. So they got to work that emotions. They got to get cranked up once again. Mike Shanahan was pleased with his veterans and starters, in particular Rex Grossman. Now we're going to find out who wants to make this ball club. In special teams, now you can make it. Kenny?
All right, thanks, Doc. What to watch for this 15 minutes brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Terrence Austin back deep. Swayze Waters kicks off for the Steelers. Austin 9 yards deep, takes a knee, and the Redskins will start from their own 20-yard line as we begin this second half as Kellen Clemens, who spent the last 5 seasons with the New York Jets, comes in at quarterback, replacing Rex Grossman.
Now, Kenny, what you're going to see is Rex Grossman's had 3 years in this system. Now you've got Kellen Clemens, who's had about 7 days of this offense. And how much will they pull it back? What's the efficiency level with which he'll operate? And remember, he's in competition for that third quarterback spot. Or if he plays well, you never know how it's going to turn out.
Evan Royster in the backfield. Darrell Young is the fullback. Logan Paulson, the tight end. Clemens handing it off to Royster. And Royster takes it out to the 23-yard line for a gain of 3. Dante Stallworth in the game at wide receiver, along with the third-round pick out of Miami, Joe Leonard Hankerson.
Hankerson's a big guy. A little bit like Malcolm Kelly. And Malcolm struggled again, once again hurt, not having a chance to play. But they like him. A little inconsistent with his hands, but he brings some real nice size to this receiving corps.
Sean Locklear now in at left tackle. 78 career starts with the Seattle Seahawks. Second down and 6. Off the play fake to Royster. Clemens motioning downfield. Now he throws, and it's incomplete, intended for Hankerson.
Now that's the same kind of play we saw Rex Grossman run in the first half. And the difference is the underneath receiver doesn't get over. Clemens gets it out of his hands, and you almost could have called that a late hit. He got the ball out of his hands. You're supposed to leave him alone, but sometimes they let the play continue.
Clemens' left shoulder pad popped out.
As long as it wasn't his left shoulder. Had that happen too.
Well, that looks okay. Third down and 6. Clemens 9 starts for the Jets, including 8 during the 2009 season. Clemens to the outside, incomplete. Terrence Austin, the intended receiver.
It appeared that Terrence Austin made the move to get open, and Kellen couldn't get him the football. A little nervous coming out the first shoot.
So the Redskins go 3 and out. Sav Rocca will punt it away. Armand Robinson back deep for the Steelers. Robinson lets it bounce, and he scoops it up at the 33-yard line. Up the sideline, good field position for the Steelers. They will start from their own 42, 7-7 game, early second half from FedEx. Welcome back. Diageo and the Redskins are reminding fans that responsibility is a team sport. Be safe, be responsible, and smart. It's what good teammates always do. Diageo, proud sponsor of the Washington Redskins.
Now we get to see what Doc was talking about, Kenny. Now's the opportunity. The starters are out of the game. This is where you start to figure out who's going to make this football team. How can they contribute?
Joe, look at the 14-year veteran, 36-year-old Charlie Batch, now in at quarterback for the Steelers, who start from their own 42-yard line. This is Jonathan Dwyer. His first carry today. Marcus White, Redskins 7th-round pick out of Florida State, made the tackle.
He was another one who was a defensive end that they're going to project possibly as a linebacker. We see a lot of these guys 260, 262, 265, projected now to stand up. They've been asked to play with their hand on the ground in college. Now they're going to get a chance to acclimate themselves to space, and that's the hardest thing, figure out what the route combinations are in front of them.
Gain of 3 for Dwyer on first down. This is Dwyer again. Look to cut it back. And he is met by the former Steeler, Kieran Fox.
Well, I can tell you, Jonathan Dwyer is going to have to learn one thing in a hurry. You cannot go east and west against any defense.
No.
He starts to the right. Now, there's nothing there. Press it up inside. You're not going to go back the other way. It's just not going to happen at this level. So whatever you can get going forward, go get it, and then get tackled or break a tackle.
Dwyer in his second season out of Georgia Tech. 3rd down and 7. Steelers must get to the Redskins 48. Batch out of the shotgun. Batch fires downfield, and it is off the hands of the intended receiver, the 6'8" West Virginia product, Wes Lyons. And Lyons slow to get up.
Anderson Russell has a shot at this play right here. He goes up, he's got a chance. He just thinks the ball's too high. The thing is if you're a safety and the guy's going up for the ball, make a play on the ball anyway.
Wes Lyons shaken up before we went to commercial.
I think when he goes up for this ball, he comes down, bangs his head a little bit, but fortunately it looks like he's okay. Goes up, has a shot at it, ball gets away from him, and then when he hits the ground, his bottom hits first, and then the head slams down, and that'll knock out some cobwebs for you. Good to see him up. And okay, looking okay. Of course, you could literally say he's a head above everyone else, and he is.
That's 6'8".
That's big. That's tall.
Jeremy Capano's punting for the first time. Aldrick Robinson back deep for the Redskins, and he finally scoops it up after having trouble, and is tackled back at the 2.
First mistake he made is if it's inside the 10-yard line, let it go. Don't try and field it at the 5-yard line.
Tough time for the 6th-round pick out of SMU. Welcome back to Redskins preseason football. Redskins and Steelers deadlocked at 7, early 3rd quarter. Right now at your local Ford dealer, get the Works Fuel Saver package for $29.95 or less. After a $10 rebate, get the Works and save money now through August 31st at your participating Ford dealer. Mike Shanahan's Redskins will start deep in their own territory from the 4-yard line. Second series for Kellen Clemens at quarterback after Rex Grossman played the entire first half. Grossman 19 of 26, 207 yards.
And looked very efficient.
Touchdown pass to Santana Moss. This is Royster. And Royster is bottled up. No gain on the play. Brought down at the 4. Santana Moss, all smiles, caught 7 first-half passes from Rex Grossman for 64 yards, and the Redskins' only touchdown.
All those guys there. Brandon Banks had a couple big plays on special teams, and of course Jabbar Gaffney starting opposite Santana. I was surprised. I walked by Jabbar at practice. I didn't realize he was as 6'2", how big he really was. 5
receptions for Gaffney as Royster takes it out to the 6. Remember his dad, Derek Gaffney, former receiver for the New York Jets?
Yep. Unfortunately, I remember a lot of guys that I knew that their sons are playing in this game now. Good blocking up front. Got to press the hole. Again, you don't quite see the steps the same with this offensive line as you saw with the first units.
Third down and 8 for Kellen Clemens and the Redskins. They must get to the 14 for a first down. Clemens throwing out of the end zone, and it's Dante Stallworth out at the 19-yard line. He makes a diving catch for a Redskins first down.
Dante everybody felt like he had the speed, he had the hands, reaches out, does a nice job of catching the ball, gets underneath it. Yep, that would be a clean catch. Even if the Steelers wanted to challenge it, it would have been a good catch. But you look at his career, nowhere near where I think he felt he wanted it to be, nor where people felt like it should be. But still a deep threat.
Off the play fake. Clemens looking for Stallworth again, and he's got it. Out at the 34-yard line. He gained 12 on the previous play. This time 16, another Redskins first down.
And you really expect it from Dante Stallworth, but this is a nice job by the offensive line. Helping out one another. The backs are in there helping out, picking up on people. Kellen reloads, resets. Dante does a good job. You'll notice how he goes up and snatches the ball out of the air, doesn't allow it to get to his body where it could possibly be knocked out.
Redskins started this drive on their own 4-yard line from the 35. This is Royster. Royster out to the 40. A gain of 5.
Take a look at some of the offensive tackles trying to make this ball club. You look at the list of guys. Jamal Brown, starter probably. Olenberg could be a challenge. Trent Williams, we know that those two are the starters, but Shane Locklear, as Kenny mentioned, coming over from Seattle, started a lot. Corey O'Daniel and Will Smith. Well, there's, again, competition everywhere in the preseason. You just want to make sure everybody stays healthy enough so that they can compete.
O'Daniel and Smith, both rookies. Smith out of East Carolina. O'Daniel from Gardner-Webb. Royster, his best run of the night, into Steelers territory. A Redskins first down to the Pittsburgh 45 as Royster gains 15 yards.
Good block on the right side. Notice how they step out, get yourself turned, even though pressure's coming up. Good blocking out front. Logan Paulson, number 82, was on the team last year. Does a good job of blocking up front. This is an efficient night already. It's 7 carries. Joe Paterno, hopefully coach recovering again. Incredible man, Joe Paterno. Incredible football teams he's put together.
And incredible when you think about all of the great running backs at Penn State. Royster, number 1 on the all-time rushing list for the Nittany Lions. First carry for Roy Halou, the rookie out of Nebraska, 4th-round draft pick.
You try and get outside with that speed, and you find out that those big guys are pretty darn fast at this level. Hayward just throws them into the ground.
The son of the late Craig Ironhead Hayward. Cameron Hayward,
another son.
Yep, exactly. First-round pick out of Ohio State by the Steelers. Here's Clemens on second down. He swings it out to Halou. And Halou takes it all the way down to the Steelers' 35-yard line. He is close to another Redskins first down.
I was talking to Scott Campbell, the head of scouting for the Redskins, and the thing about Halou is, first of all, he's fast, 4.34. The other thing is, does a terrific job in space. Once he gets going, he turns it on. Not too many people are going to catch him. He's explosive when it comes to big plays, and I look at his body type. I think he's fast. Obviously, he's faster. Robert Smith, who used to play for the Minnesota Vikings, he has that kind of a body type. He's a taller guy, got good speed, gets those knees up high, and gets rolling.
Royster back in the game. Off the play fake to Royster. Clemens to Keelan Williams. And he is met immediately by Damon Cromartie-Smith. Keelan Williams in his second season out of LSU.
What I see out of Kellen Clemens here, watch him look down the field, doesn't have what he wants, then he comes out to the right with a nice tight spiral. I like to see the spin on the ball. Sometimes it flutters a little bit, very seldom, but with him, it's a nice tight spiral. He gets the ball out of his hands quickly.
He has some experience, as we mentioned, 8 starts for the Jets back in 2007. Started another game in 2009. He's been in the league for 5 years. Play action, under pressure from Hayward, and the catch is made along the far sideline by the rookie out of Nebraska, the 5th-round pick, Niles Paul, his first reception tonight.
Now that's another individual that's jumped out as I've watched training camp, is Niles Paul. Watch him work across the field. Get into space, slow down, take a look at what's around you, just glance, make sure you get both feet in and make the reception. But Kellen Clemens does a real nice job. He wanted to throw it hard, but what he did was put a little bit of touch on it. You wind up with the big completion. you'll notice the Redskins, a lot of crossing routes, a lot of bootlegs. Get the quarterback away where he doesn't have people in front of him. That's the design of this offense. We see Matt Schaub do it down in Houston an awful lot.
Redskins keep it on the ground on first down with Royster.
You know, Kenny, when you run stretch plays in your running game, you get the defensive lineman going sideways. You don't get the penetration. You get them moving down the line. You have an athletic offensive line. They can shield them instead of just trying to power and knock them off. But once you get them moving, and then all of a sudden you come back with a boot, you've got the quarterback most of the time out in space with no one in front of him with a clear vision. And that's part of the concept of this offense.
Clemens Joe has completed his last 5 pass attempts on this drive. Oh, he's hit immediately as he looked to throw by Stevenson Sylvester, the second-round pick last year out of Utah.
Yeah, it's getting there just a little too quick for you. This is where you look up in the huddle and you say, wait a second, guys, what's happening here? You saw Keelan Williams, you saw the back go around to the other side. That's one of those plays you chalk it up to good defense. That's a Dick LeBeau designed pressure defense, and you know they're going to be in the quarterback's face.
Hall of Famer Dick LeBeau, the Steelers defensive coordinator.
Last year, well, what a great job he has done. As much as any one individual is responsible for what the Steelers have accomplished since he went back to be their defensive coordinator, he's the one man. That defense has been stellar. They've been in the top 3 rushing for a number of years. One of the best defenses in football.
Clemens looking for Leonard Hankerson on this last play.
Got a plant. Starts rolling. See, what happens with a young guy is when you're uncertain and not sure, you saw Dante Stallworth plant and go. You saw Jabbar Gaffney plant and turn. Hankerson sort of swings around in an easy way, and it's not a real target for the quarterback.
Here's Graham Gano. Remember, Shane Graham missed 2 field goal attempts in the first half. Gano from the left hash, 32-yard attempt. He nails it. After Graham missed from 29 and 49, Gano is successful. Redskins lead by 3. The Washington Redskins would like to thank all of the 2011 partners who support the team's season-long military appreciation program, Operation Salute Our Troops.
Absolutely, and thank you to all of our men and women around the world that take care of us, those out battling in the battlefields and those in bases all over. We certainly appreciate it. Know that you're absolutely loved. Speaking of love, you got to love this here. 3 drives so far. 88-yarder, missed field goal by the Redskins. 82 yards touchdown, 82 yards field goal.
So 3 drives of 80-plus yards as Gano's kickoff sails through the uprights, through the end zone.
I'm telling you, he's got a 65-yarder in him.
He's ready for the regular season. Another touchback. 10-7 Redskins. Brian Arapko has the baseball cap on. His night is over. Good first half for Arakpo.
Yeah. Good first half for the entire defense. LaRon Landry sitting next to him, waiting his opportunity to get back on the field.
Speaking of the field, Joe, our 1st and 10 line is brought to you by NetApp. Critical missions are built on NetApp.
All right. Keep that in mind.
Steelers start from the 20-yard line for the 5th time in 7 possessions today as Jonathan Dwyer takes it out to the 22-yard line for a gain of 2. Ben Roethlisberger started the game. We saw the local product, Byron Leftwich. And now it's Charlie Batch.
And we'll see Dennis Dixon, the 4th quarterback, probably in the 4th quarter. Got a lot of experience at that position.
They do.
I mean, a lot of years, a lot of experience. But Ben has done such a terrific job. 3 Super Bowls in just 7 years.
Incredible. 4 AFC championship games. He's won 2 Super Bowls. Here's Dwyer. And Dwyer tackled at the 27. Good second effort. He gains 5.
Well, that time he tried to press the hole and just got bounced backwards. And the Redskins swarming this time to be able to make the play. The other thing about a 3-4 defense is linebackers flow so quickly. We've seen the Redskins have a lot of success with bootlegs against Pittsburgh. What happens is you get those linebackers flowing to try and get to the run. There's really only one, maybe a linebacker, maybe a defensive end on the backside. If they get caught with a false step, you're outside of them right now.
Steelers today 0 for 5 on 3rd down. They must get to the 30 on 3rd and 3. Batch hit as he throws. And the catch was made along the sidelines by Terrence McCray, the rookie out of Ohio University. He gains 10 for a Steelers first down.
Well, there's a case of getting the ball out of your hands in anticipation of the route of the receiver. Ball's out of the hand long before he ever came out of his route. And here comes Charlie. Just getting exploded by Golston.
And a nice catch by McCray. Got both feet down. From the 37-yard line, Batch handing off to Dwyer. And he is hit in the backfield, back at the 34-yard line. As the tackle was made by the John Gomes, the 5th-round pick by the Redskins out of Nebraska.
Creating opportunities for guys to make plays. Jim Haslett, the defensive coordinator, dialing up situations where you can get a defensive back or a linebacker one-on-one. Question is, can you make the play? So far, the Redskin defense has done a very good job of it.
Loss of 3 on the play. Now 2nd down and 13. From the 34, quick release by Batch to Dwyer. And he's taken down at the 39-yard line as we check in downstairs with Doc Walker. Doc?
Well, Kenny and Joe, the one thing that's really impressive here from ground level is the fact that the Skins have not been in full pad. This is their first contact, and there really haven't been a whole lot of missed tackles. I mean, guys have been pretty aggressive. They've been in their lanes, and assignment football, from my vantage point, looks pretty good.
Doc, also, do you see quickness? Do you see the quickness that we're seeing as well?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, and the stamina. These guys are in pretty good condition.
So are you, Doc, while you roam those sidelines. 3rd down and 7. Byron Westbrook on the coverage. Arnaz Battle unable to make the catch.
The thing that I see from this unit, and not guys that are just running around like robots trying to think of where they're going. You see a sense of enthusiasm. Guy makes a play, there's 3 or 4 guys jumping up in the air, pumping their fists, getting excited. This excited football team, they're excited to be out there.
They've been waiting a long time throughout the lockout. Aldrick Robinson, another opportunity, bobbles it, and then pounces on it at the 15. So not a good start on special teams for Robinson tonight.
No.
Well, visit Redskins.com for the latest news and video on the team, up-to-the-minute updates from the practice field and the locker room, as well as complete game day coverage. Redskins.com, your inside source for all things Redskins. Kellen Clemens did a terrific job during the Redskins' last drive, culminating with the field goal by Graham Gano. He'll get another opportunity here with 1:23 remaining in the 3rd.
You see Brandon Banks return kicks, return punts, and then you see Aldrick Robinson struggle with it. And these are things that stand out. You can't hide from the film that has taken place or people watching on television.
Evan Royster on 1st down. Royster out to the 18-yard line. He gains 3.
They're giving Evan Royster an opportunity to be able to carry the ball quite a bit. You know, the running plays aren't that complicated, Kenny. It's stretch left, stretch right. If you've got 5 guys up front that can run, and Kyle Shanahan is sort of featuring a lot of things to the left so that you can boot back out. Although both quarterbacks have the ability to go the other way, you see him sort of favoring that one side. There's a nice job of pressing the hole, cutting up inside, making a play.
Royster picked up a 1st down out across the 25.
Watch what he does with his shoulders. Square it up, turn it up the field. Now lower yourself, running a little tentatively because he's young. He's not sure yet. They create a nice hole for him at the first level, get to the second level. Linebackers, safeties there.
New set of downs for the Redskins. As we approach the end of this third quarter, Clemens with time. He throws complete to Stallworth. Out at the 43. Another Redskins first down. And that will take us to the end of the third quarter here at FedEx Field with the Redskins on the move. The preseason opener with 3 quarters of the books. Redskins leading the Steelers by the score of 10-7. Welcome back, Kenny Albert, Joe Theismann, Doc Walker. Redskins lead the Steelers 10-7 as we get set for quarter number 4. Redskins with 373 yards of total offense.
Looked very efficient, Kenny. I mean, they've looked very efficient on offense. You haven't seen a lot of wild throws, not a lot of broken assignments up front. Also doing a nice job running the football.
Yet the Redskins lead by just 3. They missed 2 field goals in the first half. 3 drives of 80-plus yards.
Resulting in their points. They missed a field goal on the 1. Rex Grossman extremely efficient in his first half of football.
Kellen Clemens now in at quarterback. 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line. Robinson split to the left. Hankerson to the right. Off the fake to Royster. Clemens throws. And Logan Paulson makes the catch for a first down in Steelers territory. Let's go down to Doc Walker for our Geico what to watch for in the next 15 minutes.
I know what to look for, and that is to get an all-pro linebacker to give me his perspective on the Geico. What should we look for here in the fourth quarter, London?
Well, you see a lot of the young guys come in and get an opportunity to play. It'd be a good chance for them to show what they can do. You know, just we hope they go in and play well.
What was it like for you to have Bowen and Cofield, those 2 big studs up front? Looked like it gave you a little bit more room to go and attack.
Yeah, it did. I didn't have any blockers in my way. You know, it was just me and the ball carrier, you know, just find the ball. That's the way this 3-4 defense is designed.
The second year, I asked Rocky McIntosh. He said it just feels more comfortable. I did not expect to see it be this clean for the first time you guys were in full gear.
Yeah, you know, we're a lot more comfortable in what we're doing. We know the defense better. We understand the weakness and the strengths of it. You know, when Coach gives us a call now, we understand where we fit versus the run, where we fit versus the pass. So it's night and day as opposed to last year.
Talk to me about chemistry. As the captain, it seems like you guys have a real good feel for one another.
Yeah, I think we do. You know, we got a chance to work together a little bit during the off season. You know, with the lockout and everything, we got together a couple of times. But then, with as far as training camp going, we've really worked hard to get our chemistry together, to gel and understand each other. And, you know, that's what we've been doing out here.
Thank you for your time. London Fletcher, captain, middle linebacker for the Burgundy and Gold. Kenny?
All right, thanks, Doc. And a 2-time Pro Bowler as well, now in his 14th season. What to watch for this 15 minutes brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance.
We should be able to say 5-time Pro Bowler. He certainly has earned the right to be there. I mean, finally he's getting noticed. Just, to me, just an incredible athlete. Smart. Plays, reminds me of a guy like Neil Olkowitz I played with when you go back into the 80s. Not real big in stature, but when you put the pads on, he just shows up in people's faces all the time.
Here's Royster. And what did Mike Shanahan say about Fletcher? Best leader I have ever seen.
And that's, you look at that football, you look at the football teams. Mike's coached AFC championship games. He's coached Super Bowl winning teams. And when he comes out and makes that kind of a statement, that's great respect for a terrific football player. Of course, Mike Tomlin's looking at his Steelers, figuring out, okay, what do we need to do? He's getting a chance to look at a lot of young guys. You got to figure, look at the Steelers, how many guys are going to make that roster? I mean, they have a lot of starters back. Ben Roethlisberger now will in all have a full season as opposed to just 12 games. 17 touchdowns, 5 interceptions in 12 games. You know, Ben had a pretty darn solid year, took him to the Super Bowl again. And came within a whisker of winning that one in dramatic fashion almost.
Snap. Washington called a timeout. That is their first.
And Roethlisberger will have a new weapon in wide receiver Jericho Cotchery, the former New York Jet, signed with the Steelers yesterday.
There's Keenan McCardell talking to Niles Paul, one of the wide receivers. But I want to show you the difference in a veteran wide receiver and a rookie. This is Leonard Hankston, the rookie. Comes around very slow, getting his head around, not giving the target to Kellen Clemens. Now watch Dante Stallworth. Same kind of route. Up the field, press it, plant, give me a square shoulders, show me your numbers, I'll put the ball where I need to away from the defender. You saw the crispness with which he ran that route versus I'm not sure for Leonard Hankerson. And on cue, Hankerson puts this one on the ground. This has been his problem all through training camp. He has dropped a lot of footballs, a lot of easy opportunities. It's what they talked about in college. Get your head around. A little slow getting his head around, not looking the ball in, focusing on what's around him as opposed to just catching the football. I think that has a lot to do with the fact that guys are running routes without actually getting hit in practice, especially for the young guys.
Here's Royster. And getting back to Hankerson, during his high school days, he worked with Chris Carter, was his position coach in high school, also worked with Mark Duper. Two of the all-time greats.
I mean, you can read a book on tennis, you can read a book on catching, but until you go out there where people are coming in, they're going to hit you. And when you're young, there's a lot to process. And one of the things that has jumped out during training camp he's made great plays, but he's also put too many on the ground.
72 receptions for the Hurricanes last season. 3rd down and 4. Clemens out of the shotgun. Fires. And it's complete for a first down. Terrence Austin at the Steelers 19 as we check in once again downstairs with Doc Walker. Doc?
Well, Kenny, one thing, Joe, you guys can count on the Bruins will catch the football. I'm very happy to introduce this young man, a former Dallas Cowboy. I performed an exorcism on him before the game. We cleansed him of that filth, and now he's all about the burgundy and gold. How does it feel, my friend?
It feels good. It feels good to be on the other side, man. Everybody's accepting me, and I'm just happy to be here.
To get to the quarterback early, the first time you guys really been banging, your front looked comfortable.
Yes, like I said, I was talking to Jarvis Jenkins before, and I was telling him it's our first time playing together, and the more we play together, we're going to be more familiar with each other, and it's going to be great. It's going to be real good.
You've been forgiven for your sins, my friend. We're happy to have this big fella. And looking at number 72, Theismann, what does that remind you of?
I know.
Dexter Manley,
yeah.
my man.
Fortunately, I didn't have to run from him, Doc.
I know you didn't. That's right. Kenny?
All right, thanks, Doc. Stephen Bowen out of Hofstra University was a teammate of Willie Colon, the Steelers' right tackle. Happy to be here in our nation's capital.
Wayne Corbett, right?
Yep.
Hofstra, another one.
And they dropped football 2 years ago. Can you believe it? Hofstra producing a number of NFL players over the last decade.
I'm assuming it was just economics. It seems like, unfortunately, the programs go by the side that way. Look at that offense. No sacks, no turnovers, no penalties. 25 first downs tonight. This is about as efficient as I have seen a preseason football game. And I think this goes contrary to what a lot of people expected.
That's right.
When they talked about the preseason. They were quite efficient last night as well. Of course, New England put up 47. They put on a show. But the Seattle game was a good game.
And this is the Redskins' 67th play as Clemens was wrapped up by Keenan Lewis. And the Redskins will send out the field goal unit. 67 offensive plays for the Redskins, only 34 for the Steelers.
And Kellen Clemens does a good job on this play. Nothing down the field. Know where you are. Protect the opportunity to get points. Throws it right at Royster's feet, which means there's somebody in the vicinity. And you wind up having an opportunity for Gano to be able to add to the lead.
Gano from 34 yards out. He connected from 32. After Shane Graham missed 2 attempts in the first half. Rocca places it down, and Gano's kick is good. There are 2 flags. 2 flags in the end zone.
They're going to go against the Steelers. This is where you make the decision. Do you take points off the board depending upon the length and type of penalty?
Alberto Riveron getting together with his crew.
Danny Smith on the right talking to Mike Shanahan. Danny Smith, the special teams coordinator. Officials haven't had a lot of opportunities to be able to do some in the preseason here so far. It's been a quiet night for them. There we go.
The defense had 12 players on the field. The penalty is declined. The field goal is good.
Wasn't enough for a first down, so Mike Shanahan leaves the points on the board. Mike Tomlin figuring it's late in the game. We still have to figure out how many guys are going to play.
Gano 2 for 2 on the night. Redskins lead by 6. Welcome back to FedEx Field. Diageo and the Redskins are reminding fans that responsibility is a team sport. Be safe, be responsible, and smart. It's what good teammates always do. Diageo, proud sponsor of the Washington Redskins, who lead the Pittsburgh Steelers 13-7.
And a very efficient night so far for the Washington Redskins. It has not gotten sloppy. Kellen Clemens coming in, and that's what happened. As opposed to, that's what happens when you have a veteran quarterback being able to communicate in the huddle, getting the snap counts, getting your exchange from the center all clean. That all makes for efficiency, especially in the preseason.
Ball placed on the 35 as Gano boots it through the end zone once again. No opportunity for a return for Kenneth Moore. So the Steelers once again, like a broken record, will start from their own 20-yard line. Prime Sport is the official fan travel partner of the Washington Redskins. Nothing beats being there live, whether it's an away game or a visit back home. Primesport.com will make all the plays you need for tickets, hospitality, hotels, and more. Visit primesport.com today. Redskins lead 13-7. Fourth quarterback of the night for the Steelers, Dennis Dixon. Now under center as the Steelers start for the 6th time tonight from their own 20-yard line. Dixon on first down, handing it off to John Clay, rookie free agent out of the University of Wisconsin.
What you're going to see out of the Steelers with Dennis Dixon is quite a bit more mobility from the quarterback position. Charlie Batch, Byron Leftwich, Ben Roethlisberger, they really aren't going to run away from anyone. As a matter of fact, Ben prefers the first hit, and then he moves and makes plays. Dennis, much quicker, much fleeter of foot, had a chance to start last year when Ben was down. And it's got a chance. I mean, he's got a 1-year contract now. Hopefully get some tape out there where somebody might take a look at him and say, hey, look, we'd like you to play for us.
On 2nd down and 8, Dixon looking for Tyler Grisham. So 3rd down and 8 coming up with just over 9 minutes remaining here at FedEx Field. Steelers, the defending AFC champions, of course, lost to the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl. And the Packers earlier today visited President Obama at the White House.
They had a chance to be there and meet the president and get the congratulations they deserve. Aaron Rodgers, what a terrific year he had. What a terrific Super Bowl he had.
Here's Dixon under pressure on 3rd and 8. Down he goes. To John Gomes, the rookie out of Nebraska, with the sack of Dixon back at the 8-yard line.
Jim Haslett, the defensive coordinator, is putting guys in positions to make plays. Gomes comes in on the outside, makes the tackle, gets him on the ground. One of the things Dixon's going to have to learn is if somebody's coming after you, protect the football. Don't hang it out like a loaf of bread or a suitcase. Protect the football. You fumble down there, you give the team the ball on the 4-yard line.
The 3rd Redskins sack tonight. Punt by Kapanos. Austin lets it roll out of bounds at midfield. So terrific field position for the Redskins, who lead by 6 with 8:35 remaining. Time for our McDonald's game summary. Try the new McCafe Real Fruit Smoothies participating McDonald's today. Santana Moss with the game's only touchdown. Graham Gano 2 for 2 after Shane Graham missed a pair of field goals, and 2 big returns by Brandon Banks.
Brandon Banks. Now, when you look at this wide receiver competition, you say, how does Brandon Banks fit in? Just like that. He was dynamic a year ago, and there's Rick Walker with his huddle of great players around him.
As Clemens hands it off to Roy Halou, as we check in back downstairs with Doc.
There he is.
Well, thank you, Kenny. Santana Moss had a touchdown because Jamal Brown provided protection. And, of course, the thief of all thieves, D'Angelo Hall, was out there balling as well. Happy veterans. Haven't seen smiles about you guys in a long time. How's it feel?
Feels great to be out here, man. You know, the attitude is different. You know, I can see that, you know, everybody is just motivated to come out here and win, you know, and that's something that we hadn't had in a while. So, you know, I'm really motivated that this team should show a lot more improvement this year.
Santana re-signs, you re-signed, you had options as Santana did. You came back, and you guys looked pretty good on the offensive line.
Yeah, man, we just try to come out here and, you know, get some yardage and things like that. You know, we got backed up early on, but we drove all the way down the field. You know, it would have been better if we would have came away with some points. But the offense looked good. Rex Grossman was out there balling, and, you know, everybody feels comfortable.
And we knew there would be a ruckus if D'Angelo Hall, you're fearless. You take you down to Atlanta, you go in there with the coach. You throw you over here on the Steelers sideline, you're over there fighting with the black and gold. You love the game, don't you?
I love it, man. I love it. You know, I try to play with as much passion as I can, man. And you know what? It's just, you know, it's a testament to these guys, man. These guys came out, man, so far in camp, and, man, they've been preparing hard. You know, I think that's the biggest difference from last year is just our front on both sides of the ball. Our defensive front, I feel like, got a lot better. Our offensive front got a lot better. Those guys go at it in practice all the time, and we can't do nothing but fall in line, you know. So we out there scrapping with those guys, too. So, I mean, we just, you know, a product of the system right now.
A sight for sore eyes. Veterans happy here in Burgundy and Gold. Kenny, Joe?
Joe's pretty happy up in the booth as well, Doc.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a delight to see him, Doc. You and I have spent the last couple weeks out there watching practice, and everything that D'Angelo was talking about, Santana was talking about, Jamal was talking about, are the same things that we have seen watching them practice. A lot of fans have come out, and I thought the Redskins did some really nice things. Coach Shanahan, because they practice on a field further away from the fans normally are, he moved them all the way over so that they could get really close and have an opportunity to see their football team practice. And that's just Mike Shanahan understanding how important the fans are. And the fan day that they had was one of the biggest they've ever had out here. Not the big signings, but a lot of quality football players.
And the Redskins lead the opener 13-7. Our 1st and 10 line brought to you by NetApp. Critical missions are built on NetApp. From the 15-yard line, Dennis Dixon. Dixon throws, deflected, and nearly intercepted by Marcus White after the deflection by Horatio Blades.
Got a player hurt down on the field.
It's
looks like
Kevin
Barnes, yeah. I think he tried to stop and start. Fortunately, he's up and moving. Hoping it'll be the same result maybe that Josh Wilson had. We saw him didn't look like he was going to come back, and then showed some great quickness.
Didn't miss a series. So we saw and heard the enthusiasm from Moss, Brown, and Hall as they chatted with Doc. Let's go around the division. First of all, your thoughts on the Philadelphia Eagles.
I think they've loaded up individually. On paper, you'd have to say that they're a great football team, but I always liken to the dream team that was in Miami that didn't quite get it done. It's still going to come down to performance, and we know what this division is all about. Eagles, Redskins games, throw out the records. Cowboys, Eagles, Cowboys, Redskins, Cowboys, Giants, Redskins, Giants, doesn't matter.
Here's Dixon. And he's down at the 16, gain of 1.
But you have to be impressed with what the Eagles have done signing some key people. And I think adding Steve Smith has made a big difference. Obviously, you know, Jason Garrett taking over. Rob Ryan, the new defensive coordinator there. The Eagles, like we say, Namdi and everybody else has been added to that football team. The Osamura situation. You don't want times of discontent when you have such a short period of time to prepare. Every day a guy misses training camp. He's missing 2 practices. And more than likely he's going to wind up having some problem with an injury going forward.
3rd down and 9. Dixon looking for Terrence McCray. Steelers forced to punt. Giants also over the last couple of weeks suffered key losses on the offensive side. Kevin Boss signing with the Oakland Raiders, and Steve Smith now a Philadelphia Eagle.
Yeah, I mean, and Eli struggled last year. I don't expect Eli Manning to have that many interceptions. The interception he had to get 23 last year. It was just he'd throw a ball, it would get tipped up in the air. It was a bad year all the way around for the Giants. But, you know, certainly you're not going to say that they're a whole lot better than the Redskins at this point, to be honest with you. I think the Redskins are a more efficient football team.
Terrence Austin on the return, stays on his feet. Out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Well, Redskins head coach Mike Shanahan was asked how difficult it was to prepare for the upcoming season due to the lockout.
It's tough. There's no question about it. You miss those 17 OTAs, the off-season conditioning program, you know, the meeting times that you do have. But everybody's, you know, adjusting to the same schedule. So it's tough for everybody.
It is tough. When you're a rookie or a free agent coming to a football team, the terminology that you have to deal with, you have to take your mind out of it to be an efficient player. And unfortunately, there's a lot of thinking that has to go on.
Roy Helu, first down and more as he takes it into Steelers territory and is finally brought down by Chris McCoy after gaining 18 yards.
Now, Kenny, you and I are going to do the last preseason game against Tampa, so we've got the next couple weeks to sort of sit. I will make a prediction. Roy Helu will make a huge difference in this offense. One of the running backs, you saw that terrific move that he put on. He has quickness, he has speed, he has size, and he gives this Redskin offense in the running game an explosiveness that it has not had.
He's a home run threat from the Steelers 37. It's Helu again. Tim Hightower in the first half. Joe, 10 carries, 44 yards.
Evan Royster
looked good.
Came in, played. Helu, another young running back. One of the things that the Redskins tried to do when they went out after this draft class is they knew there was going to be the lockout. They knew they wouldn't have the time to be able to spend on guys. So you look for character guys and you look for self-starters, guys that are willing to go out and work hard. You walk around the locker room and you see these young guys. There's total focus on what they want to try and accomplish to make this football team.
Second down and 8. Redskins have gained 131 yards on the ground tonight. Helu adding to that total, down to the Steelers 29 as we approach 4.5 minutes remaining, and take a look at the Redskins draft class.
Ryan Kerrigan expected to start and play. Jarvis Jenkins, we saw his abilities to play tonight. Leonard Hankerson has to work on catching the football. We talked about it. Roy Helu making a contribution. Gomes, we've seen him in on a couple plays. Niles Paul had a big play. Evan Royster's played, and Aldrick Robinson has struggled in returning kicks. And then Brandon Thompson, Maurice Hurt, I think could be a sleeper here. Marcus White, another linebacker, defensive end turned linebacker, could be another guy that's a sleeper.
Now Clemens going deep. There is a flag. Robinson, the intended receiver.
It's going to be illegal contact. When you get young guys.
Illegal contact, number 27, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
When you get young guys in the secondary, Kenny, you run enough hitches, you run enough short routes in front of them, all of a sudden you run a hitch and go, they're lost in space. They're going to do anything. They're going to grab, pull, jump. But the other side of it is it's a good penalty, because if you don't and he goes clean by you, probably a touchdown.
And Joe, that is the first time the Steelers were flagged for a penalty in this entire game. Niles Brinkley, 1st and 10, 24-yard line. This is Helu. Down to the 20, gain of 4. And of course, the biggest question, the subject that has been written and talked about the most, the quarterback position. John Beck, groin injury, did not play today. Rex Grossman in the first half, outstanding.
Well, you're probably going to, John Beck will more than likely get his opportunity depending upon the week. He's been held out because he wanted to make sure that Mike Shanahan wanted to make sure that the groin was okay. Rex Grossman, I think he picked up where he left off last year, but there's a lot more around him than there was a year ago. The offensive line is more efficient. The running game is more explosive, and the wide receivers he's much more comfortable with.
Helu down to the 19-yard line.
Well, it'll be up to John Beck now. I mean, The bar has been set. You need to go out. And the thing that John Beck cannot do is he can't all of a sudden say, oh my gosh, I have to be able to do this. I have to be able to. All you need to do is go out and do what Rex Grossman did. Let the system work for you and make decisions. Redskins have 27 first downs now. There's John Beck, number 12. Matter of fact, got that number from Malcolm Kelly. Malcolm Kelly was number 12. He would have worn 14, but they had to buy all the ones that were on the shelf before he could get that one.
More flags. One of John Beck's coaches as a youngster was a big Terry Bradshaw fan, and that is why.
Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
That is why he started to wear 12.
I wore 52 when I started playing football.
Because?
Because I didn't know any better. I think that was the whole thing. I played Pop Warner football for the Little Knights in South River, New Jersey, and wore number 52. Didn't realize it would add up to 7 someday, which became a number that served me well.
So that's why you have such an attachment to Rocky McIntosh.
Absolutely. I know he's a quarter. I know there's a quarterback inside of it somewhere.
And we did not even need Marty Aronoff to tell us that 5 + 2 = 7.
That's one of the rare times Marty didn't have to show us something.
Marty in mid-season form. He was in San Diego working the game last night.
He's unbelievable. I mean, we see Marty during the preseason, and also I've worked with Marty many times for many years now, and I'll ask him, how are you doing? He'll either have come in from a basketball game or he's come in from a football game across the country, but always shows up, always here, and always helping us out with great stats.
Red Eye from San Diego, no sleep, on the mark. 2:28 remaining. The Steelers will open the regular season just up the road in Baltimore on September 11th.
That's turned into quite a rivalry. Of course, Baltimore played last night. Joe Flacco and that group, a lot of expectation, a lot of pressure on Baltimore's offense to be able to produce and put some big plays into that offense.
Here's Gano from 45 yards out. Graham Gano is 3 for 3.
I don't know what it is. I feel like we're in Denver, Colorado. We're at Mile High Stadium because Gano is kicking the ball as effortlessly as I've seen him with that swing, and he's kicked it from the 35-yard line out of the end zone, and these field goals have just been soaring through from whatever distance.
So after Shane Graham missed a pair of field goal attempts in the first half from 29 and 49 yards out, Gano in the second half has connected from 32, 34, and now 45. With 2:23 remaining, we check in once again with Don.
Well, Kenny, this is a delight because you never know what's going to happen in the first game, especially with the abbreviated offseason. But if you look at the effort that was given and the efficiency in their assignments, I didn't see a lot of blown assignments. We had minimized penalties. And Joe, and you talked about it, the enthusiasm. I mean, these guys haven't been happy in a long while. They got reason to be. Now, put in proper context, it's just preseason. But in terms of what it takes to become a close-knit team, this is step one.
Boy, Doc really nailed it. I think the chemistry aspect of it, Doc, is so true. The opportunity to be able to spend time together in camp, in the locker room, in meetings, sitting down, eating together, knowing what the other guy's thinking, understanding what your role is going to be on this football team. It's very, very important. But it also feels good to win. It feels good to go out and play efficiently. You've got a week now to feel good about what you've done and build on it. Let's just put the guy on first base. Okay, intentional walk. Let's march it out to the 20, and let's start over. The most important statistic in the National Football League for every team this year will be scores of 20 from the 20-yard line. How many scores were you able to get starting at the 20-yard line? How many 80-yard drives were you able to put together for touchdowns? How is it going to play into field position for teams in the first quarter of football games?
Well, the Steelers, for the 7th time in 10 possessions tonight, start from their own 20. They scored 1 touchdown back in the second quarter. They've punted following their other 8 possessions, and now Dixon all the way out to the 36-yard line.
And that is the dimension that Dennis Dixon brings to the quarterback position for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I don't like the way he just hangs the ball out all over the place. He needs to do a better job. If he wants to play this position effectively, he needs to do a better job protecting the football.
We have hit the 2-minute warning here at FedEx Field with the Redskins leading the Steelers in the preseason opener 16-7. Washington Redskins preseason football has been brought to you in part by FedEx. We understand you need a winning game plan. Bud Light, it's the short time of a good time. Here we go. And by Ameritel, official equipment supplier of the Washington Redskins, who lead the Pittsburgh Steelers 16-7. 2 minutes remaining. Here's Dixon on first down. And that's broken up by Barnes. Good to see Kevin Barnes back out.
Very similar to what we saw with Josh Wilson earlier in the game. He went out, limped off. Now he's back on the field. I think that to me tells an awful lot about a guy. I mean, Josh Wilson, it's a first preseason game. You're the starting corner. You didn't have to go back, but you did. Kevin Barnes, same thing. You didn't have to go back, but you did, because it's important to him. Ooh, there was one.
Check this out, Joe. Time of possession, Redskins over 38 minutes. Steelers just over 20.
You don't get first downs. You don't get to keep the football. And I was impressed by the length of plays that the Redskins had. They got some very good-sized runs, 12, 15 yards. They got some excellent passes, 20, 25 yards. Real nice mix, real nice blend. I think Kyle Shanahan's getting a feel for what he has and what he wants to do with his players.
Redskins with 2 14-play drives, 3 drives of longer than 80 yards. Here comes Barnes. Dixon spins away. Dixon finally throws downfield, and the catch is made at the 35-yard line. Dixon escaping and then hits Eric Greenwood.
Coaching point, Kevin Barnes. When you come around the corner, come under control. Don't lower your head. Under control. The thing you want to do is contain the quarterback and get a hand on him. You don't have to deliver a big blow. You have to come under control. It's amazing as you watch guys learn this game, become more efficient at what they do. It's like I love watching Troy Polamalu play, because what Troy does is Troy will just try and get a guy on the ground, Kenny. He doesn't try and rough him up. He doesn't try and beat him up. Tackle him, get him on the ground. Make a play, get the guy down.
29 yards from Dixon to Greenwood, the rookie out of Idaho. So the Steelers now with a 1st and 10 from the Redskins 35.
Now, did Greenwood go out of bounds and come back inbounds? You wonder what the discussion's going to be.
Job. Washington will be charged with a timeout. Under 2 minutes, an injury on the field which requires a player to get off the field. The team will be charged with a timeout. Therefore, Washington has been charged with a 2nd timeout. That will be a 30-second timeout.
There we go. Dennis Dixon scrambling, gets the ball up the field. Just manages to stay in. Greenwood does. And now the Steelers have opportunities to put points on the board.
From the Redskins 35. Dixon over the top. And the pass was high, intended for the tight end out of South Carolina, Wesley Saunders.
It's fun watching philosophies of offense. The Steelers, very vertical. We saw Mike Wallace early in the game. Ben Roethlisberger missed him on a big play. Antonio Brown, same thing on the other side. The Redskins, a lot of crossing routes. 2 very different types of offenses to try and get chunks of yards.
Dixon throws broken up by Byron Westbrook. Dennis Dixon just 1 for 8. That pass intended for Tyler Grisham. The player of the game brought to you by Kentucky Fried Chicken, the official chicken of the Washington Redskins.
And Rex Grossman wasn't any chicken at all. 19 of 26, 207 yards, 1 touchdown. Very efficient in everything he did. The most impressive part to me was the handling of the short snap down around the goal line, which resulted in the Santana Moss touchdown after he got it out of his hands for that quick score.
That gave the Redskins a 7-0 lead back in the second quarter. Steelers tied the game at 7. 3 Graham Gano field goals here in the second half. Penalty markers.
Delay a game.
Prior to the snap, delay a game. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
The Redskins came up, showed blitz on the outside. Dennis Dixon was trying to redirect his offensive line. And this is what you get when you have a group of players that can't recognize what's going on in front of them and haven't had the opportunity to play together.
So the Steelers now push back to the 40-yard line. 3rd down and 15. Empty backfield. 4 wide receivers set.
Now he wants him to slide right.
Dixon on 3rd down. And it's broken up by Barnes once again. Pass intended for Arnaz Battle.
You can see the veterans when they play with a second unit. Kevin Barnes, the efficiency with which he plays the cornerback position. On offense, we saw Dante Stallworth with the discipline in his routes and the way he catches the ball away from his body and just uses his hands. These are the guys that have played a lot of football. They're just not in there with the starters.
So now 4th and 15 for the Steelers. 1:20 remaining. Redskins lead by 9. And this play is blown dead.
Prior to the snap.
Timeout.
Timeout, Pittsburgh.
Taken by the Steelers.
That will be a 30-second timeout.
Joe, let's take a look at the play of the game delivered by FedEx. Whether you're trying to get your package around the world or around the corner, FedEx has a variety of options to help your business succeed.
And Rex Grossman delivering the package to Santana Moss. That was the play I referenced a little bit earlier. The snap was low. Rex managed to keep his eyes up, find out, knew exactly where he wanted to go with it. Again, familiarity. I mean, there isn't any replacement for being able to see things, to understand concepts, know what you want to do with the football, so you don't have to think about it. You can just react instinctively.
Moss 7 receptions in the first half, 64 yards. And the Redskins only touchdown. Here's Dixon on 4th down. Steps up, now throws. And the Redskins will take over on downs. Joe, let's look back at the 4 keys to the game from our open about 3 hours ago.
Yeah, well, the first one was the quarterback situation. The quarterback play was very efficient tonight. Both Kellen Clemens and Rex Grossman, I thought, did a fine job, which sets the bar for John Beck from a competitive standpoint. The second year in the 3-4, we heard London Fletcher talk about the comfort level they have and the wide receiving core. That was also very efficient. All 3 elements tonight that we were looking for something out of this football team, they delivered.
So the Redskins will run out the clock with Ben Chappell in at quarterback. He handed it off to Sean Drawn, the rookie out of North Carolina.
This is great for Ben Chappell. It doesn't matter when you get in the game. You're in the Redskin uniform. You're out on the field. You look at his production in school. And that's 29 touchdowns. That few of interceptions, that tells you a lot.
Redskins brought in another quarterback this week, Matt Gutierrez, who is in uniform on the sidelines tonight.
Another arm.
This is Drawn again. And that will do it. A terrific effort by the Redskins in their preseason opener as they defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers by the score of 16-7.
Very efficient performance by the Redskins tonight.
Rex Grossman, outstanding in the first half. Redskins 452 yards of offense, They did not turn the ball over. Graham Gano connecting on all 3 of his field goal attempts in the second half. It all adds up to a victory for Mike Shanahan's Redskins. 16-7 over the defending AFC champions. We'll return to FedEx Field right after these messages.